Welcome everyone to this special Saturday community call. Guys, we are super excited to be sharing this time with you. And we've got a panel that is going to be speaking on today's call. And very excited for this. You're going to be hearing from some of our top traders. These are folks that not have only gotten funded, right? So they've gotten funded for trading money, but they've also had withdrawals. So that means not only do they know how to take winning entries, they know how to stay consistent enough to get payouts. And listen, if you know how big of a challenge that is, you know how big the success of these three folks is. Drop a 222 in the chat box right now because these folks that you're going to be hearing from have been able to accomplish that. All right. Now, we're going to go ahead and get started with a few things I want to share with you guys before we start. But number one, either you're watching this live or you may be watching a recording. We want to let you know a little bit about what we're doing here at Elite Mentorship. And so I'm going to go ahead and just share some quick information with you before we bring up our panel. And so, number one, the heartbeat of what we do is mentorship. There is a lot of folks that, they want to learn trading. They want to learn, how to make money in the markets. And, some folks will buy a course. Others will join an MLM. And, there's nothing wrong with either of those. I've done both. But there comes a point in time where a person wants mentorship, right? They want to feel like they're actually part of a group, or there's a personal one-on-one mentorship where folks can get that personal touch. And that is where really we have something that's special and unique, where a person can come in. Maybe they know a little bit about the markets. Maybe they know nothing about the markets. Maybe they've had years of experience but haven't had success. This is an opportunity where they get to come in and be a part of something that can help mold them and shape them to be an independent trader. Most people and most products are trying to sell you something that you need to stay on forever, or else it wouldn't, you won't be able to be profitable. Here, we want you to have the skill set to be able to win independently, and you will still be part of our community because you want that group, that community to keep you accountable, to stay in contact with, so you're not out in these markets by themselves and by yourselves. Recently, I was listening to a podcast, multi, millions, hundreds of millions of dollar group, prop firm, a real prop firm. So you actually go into an office, they coach you, and then they give you money to trade with. One of the things they said that is the biggest challenge for traders right now is trading by themselves, right? So, trading became a lonely thing due to computers and the internet. But typically, the way that it was always done, you think of Wall Street, it's a lot of people working together and a lot of thoughts coming together, right? Think about it as a human AI. And that's how people would win. And that's how these big companies win. Well, retail traders, people like you and I, most of us are trading by ourselves. Elite mentorship changes that, and it gives you a community and it gives you a platform to be a part of a group of people that are working on winning together. So let's talk about impact. What is the impact that Elite Mentorship has had and that these three traders are going to talk to you about today? Well, number one, we have a winning system. All right. So I go back and I do our numbers. I just did our numbers for March. All right. So here's a couple of interesting stats for you. Number one, if a person was to follow the Atlas trading system that I created in the month of March, they would have had 26 wins and 4 losses. Again, that's 26 wins and 4 losses. All right. That's an 85% win rate. With the right strategy, with the right risk that you put per trade, right? Even if you won at a 50-60% win rate, you would be in the money. Okay. Here, we're talking about an 85% win rate, all right, with over 1,440 points of potential. And listen, there were a lot of trades that I didn't count if you swung them, meaning I usually only count the trade until its first major pullback. All right. So let's say it went 30 or 60 points, pulled back, right? Maybe to the entry, or maybe it pulled back half and then it kept going. I didn't count that. I only count before the big major pullback. And guys, that's over 1,440 points. Hey, drop some sevens in the chat box if you think that those numbers are positive, are good, right? And it's encouraging. Now listen to this. Okay, listen to this. We did not have our first loss until the 10th of March. That means that for the first 10 days in March, there were no losses. Okay? How crazy is that? All right. And by the way, interesting stat, not only did we go 10 days without a loss, okay, but we went 10 trades without a loss. So 10 days, including weekends, so we don't trade weekends, 10 calendar days, no losses in the beginning of March, right? And then 10 winning trades. And there was one day in the month of March we had 5 winning trades. Another day in March, we had 3 winning trades. Now, why is this important? And I want to share this with our entire community that's on here today. The market has shifted because of fundamental news. We've got politics happening, inflation happening, interest rates happening. And the last week and a half, 2 weeks of March were a little challenging for not just us, but all traders everywhere because of everything going on politically. Even with that, if you would have traded consistently from the beginning of the month and kept your same risk, and maybe as you weren't doing as well at the end of the month, you would have tapered that back, right? You would have had a winning month. So this is important for everyone here to remember. Trading is not about how good you did in a day. It's not about how good you're doing in a week. It's about how you're doing consistently over time. There are maybe many 6 and 7 figure traders that they don't have winning months sometimes. They might go an entire month and they didn't make money. Does that mean trading doesn't work? No. Does that mean their system doesn't work? No. It just means you're on a bad streak. Reduce your risk, figure out what's going on, and adjust. If you would have done this in the month of March, you would have been very, very profitable. Again, guys, first 10 days, no losses. First 10 trades, no losses. A day with 5 winning trades. I think that's a record. Okay. And another day we had 3 winning trades. So, guys, very, very positive stuff. The system works if you follow the system. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, we've got a system where, yes, you can trade this with your own live money. But what we teach you to do is use something called digital prop firms. These are companies that allow you to take challenges. You pay for these challenges. They're pretty affordable. If you pass the challenge, you're disciplined, you pass the challenge, you could sometimes pass these challenges with a few trades, right? They'll give you a trading account. You trade that trading account consistently, and then whether it's 5 to 10 trading days, you get a withdrawal. Folks, we are approaching $5 million in funded accounts passed, 4,780,000 of funded challenges passed in our community. Guys, can we drop a 5 for 5 million that's coming up? That's $5 million to trade with that we've been able to impact students around the world, okay? I remember having a hard time just passing one challenge by myself, okay? I remember this a few years back. And now, not only did I pass challenges, right? But we've had community members all over the world pass challenges, and now we're approaching $5 million of challenges. And guys, we don't have a huge community, okay? We're doing this with anywhere between 30 and 50 students, right? $5 million of challenges passed is what we're approaching right now. But here's the big number. Here's the big number. And I'm excited about this number the most because this is the number that we're starting to see taper, right? So for a long time, it was, well, how can I help people get funded? We've already figured that one out. Then it's, how do we help people get payouts? And now what we're seeing is we've broken that threshold. And now this number is going to start to catch up to the number that's leading it. Because it's one thing to pass a prop firm challenge. It's another thing to get a payout. And it's another thing to get consistent payouts. And guys, we've got all of these here today. And so we're going to talk about this, over $50,000 of payouts. And guys, that just tells me that's impact. And some of the folks on this call, actually all of them, they've been impacted by these payouts, okay, by how it's impacted their family. So guys, I am excited about what we're going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our panel. And these are 3 traders that have been winning. And I do want to share, Jay, for some reason, Jonathan, when you unmute, I hear an echo. I don't know if you have a second device somewhere, but it is echoing a little bit. So just be careful with that. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and bring up our panel. And I'll start with Jem. Jem, she's out in the UK, and I'll tell you something that's super, super special about her. I remember when she first came to be a part of Elite Mentorship, she really was a newbie in the game. She had done a little bit of trading, and she said, Steve, I want to do some personal mentorship stuff. And she ended up getting one of my personal mentorship packages that I do. And I'll tell you what, even though I've mentored her, I don't take any credit because she's really done this by being a self-starter, self-motivated, doing her own work, doing her own studies, and I've just been a little bit of her process. So guys, can we drop some 222s in the chat box for Jem for being here with us today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right.
Okay.
Hi, Jem.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Oh, we hear you. We hear you loud and clear.
Good.
Awesome,
Excellent.
awesome. I'm going to go ahead and bring our other panelists up as well. Next up to bat, we've got Catalina here. She is incredible. She's probably, I would consider her one of my most consistent students. She's on every single day on our live sessions. She follows the system to a T. And because of that, she's been able to pass challenges and get payouts from challenges. By the way, while having a full-time job, this woman is incredible. Guys, drop a 222 for Catalina coming out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. And then last but not least, this guy is a superstar stud. He is crushing it out of California. I mean, I couldn't be prouder of this gentleman. This guy, he came in low key, studied a little bit, learned some of the stuff, went ahead and figured out what works for him, and has been consistent enough to get consistent payouts month after month after month. Guys, give it up for my boy Jonathan. Welcome, welcome. And Jonathan, you may be muted. Let me see here.
Got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, everyone. What's up, Jim? What's up, Catalina?
Welcome. All right. All right. So what we're gonna do here, guys, is we're gonna do this like a panel. All right. And what I'm gonna do is there's some questions that I'm gonna give, and I want all three of you to answer. And then other questions that I'm gonna give, I'll give it to just one or two specific people, just so we don't go over time. We want to maybe do this in about 30 minutes, and just keep your answers maybe to like 1 minute to 2 minutes tops. And if it's shorter than that, that's fine too. But let's start at the beginning. All right. And I want to ask this question to all three of you guys, because I know that there's a lot of folks that are watching this and they're facing challenges, right? They're struggling in their trading, right? And obviously, I'm not expecting you to come in as an expert, but you've had enough consistency to not only get a funded account, but also to get a withdrawal from that funded account. So I'll go across the board. Catalina can answer this first. But number one, what was your biggest challenge in becoming consistent in trading, and how have you overcome it? So I'll start with Catalina first. Go ahead. And you are muted. I'm sorry.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey guys, welcome. This is the right place to be. So the biggest challenge to be funded was consistency. I used to do a lot of revenge trading, but then I got tired. I got tired of blowing accounts year after year. I've been on this, you know, I've been trading for almost 10 years, believe it or not, 10 years. And not until I met Steve, was it like a year ago, a year and a half ago?
Yep.
I saw, I started following him, taking his classes, and I noticed that it was so simple. It wasn't like so many things, like then all these rules, and then you got to add this, add that. It was so simple, and they're like, let me give him a chance. And then I started being consistent. I don't think I have missed any of your classes, maybe one. Studying charts, watching the videos, and just consistency, setting goals. I set small short-term goals and long-term goals. Short-term goals is like, okay, let's at least make this amount of money a day. And the long-term goals, of course, I want to pay whatever bills I have, and whatever. But setting goals and celebrating the small goals I accomplished. When I pass my accounts, right now I have 4 accounts. My husband and I went out to eat. So celebrating your accomplishments is a big thing for me, because after so many years and just seeing myself like, wow, I can do this. It can be difficult, it can be challenging, but it can be done. After blowing so many accounts, like I said, it can be done. And if you're consistent, walk out, once you meet your goal, step back and just walk away. Whether you made a profit or you lost whatever amount you set to lose that day, just walk away, and it's okay. The next day is going to be a better day, or maybe not, but just set those goals, and don't never give up. I never gave up, and here I am. I'm so happy to be in this community. I'm so happy to meet Steve. I think I answered your question. I don't know if I
Yes,
did.
you have. No, you're great.
Thank
I
you.
think you asked.
I'm so nervous.
No, that's great. That's great. Hey, drop them 222s for Catalina, guys. That was great. She said consistency, never gave up, 10 years in the game. She's been, on these sessions. She takes her wins and stops, or she takes her losses and stops. I mean, that's powerful. All right. Next up, let's bring Jem up to the table. Jem, what was your biggest challenge of becoming consistent, and how did you overcome it?
In all honesty, myself.
Oh, yeah.
So when I say that, I mean like my belief in my own knowledge, that I didn't believe it existed despite having been in an academy, an MLM academy for well over 12 months. I had such a major lack of self-belief in myself that I could actually learn anything and retain new knowledge, mainly because of my health issues. I have sorry about that, severe, really bad sort of brain fog and memory issues. And I just had this block that I couldn't do it. And I was too scared to move from Forex to futures, and I was just scared of placing that first trade. So what helped me overcome it is work on myself, mindset, and your belief. I said, without your mindset, without having that mindset that you can do something, you can learn something, and that you are going to be profitable, it's not going to work. And I kind of look back at when I was training to be a nurse. I learned what I needed to do to qualify as a nurse in university, but the real learning started when I qualified and I worked there on the wards in A&E. Same as like school, you learn what you need to pass exams, but you don't learn about real life. So with trading, it's about just learning the very, very basics, but then having a mentor like yourself that helps you keep learning it. And it's a process of learning during the trading journey. It's not a get rich quick scheme. But it's all about, I think mindset is so key. And that's what's helped me. I had to take a few months out just to focus on me. And then when I've come back, I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And then there's no stopping me.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, drop them 222s for Jem. I think that's incredible. I remember when I did Jem's first mentorship call. I remember what you're saying, Jem. There was a low self-belief. I really didn't know either. It's always hard from the outside to know, and to see you come back and smash it and believe in yourself, and what you've done is amazing. And we'll share a little bit more about your journey in a few. Jonathan, man, what is up? Welcome, welcome. What was your biggest challenge in becoming consistent, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I actually I want to double down on what Jem said, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Um, Fear and self-doubt were my biggest challenges. Um, so those kind of things make you exit trades that are going to be great too early because you're scared of a little drawdown, or just make the same mistakes, or um, yeah, it causes you to do a lot of things you don't normally do. So what I did to overcome those things is I back tested different strategies on like cheap prop firm accounts until one stuck and won more than it lost, and basically that was it. Sorry.
Yeah. Nah, you're good.
and and yeah, so it built, what that did was it built my confidence and increased my overall knowledge on the instrument that I was trading, and that was huge. It was a game changer. So yeah, that fear, you just have to break through that because that thing will hold you back from everything.
Yeah. No, and I like what you said. You tested things out on several prop firms. You weren't willing to, you weren't afraid of losing those accounts because you were like, hey, I'm going to take these challenges. I'm going to figure out which one works, which one doesn't. And then boom, when I get my rhythm, and then you've been able to maximize. So fantastic. All right. Let's move on to the next question, guys. So, how has learning Atlas, so how has what you've learned from me helped you become profitable? And I know like for you, Jonathan, how you do your zones and stuff. So talk a little bit about that. I'll bring Jonathan up first on this one just to continue the flow. How has learning Atlas, learning my trading strategy, but also being part of the community, how has that helped you in your journey?
Yeah, so that was a great question. So basically, Atlas, it was like almost like the missing link to what I was looking for the entire time. Uh, During the whole time I was trading, I felt like I had it, I understood it, but there's always something missing. There was something that needed to happen to connect the dots of all the information that I was getting, and from every different direction. So that Atlas strategy helped that. And once I got that, everything just kind of fell in line, and it was just straight shot from there. Um, let's see. So being part of, for sure, of the community, or I mean any community in general, but specifically this one, is crucial in my opinion, because as we all know, trading could be kind of lonely at times. Even from, I don't know if it's just lack of support from people in our own circles, or just, you might not get that because they don't understand what we're seeing on a daily basis. So it gets hard. So having a community of like-minded people, it kind of accelerates the process of making us profitable, in my opinion. And it's huge, especially this community, who everybody wants the best for everyone else, including themselves. No one's trying to one up another person. Everybody's, helping each other out, and it's crucial. It's definitely.
Love it. Hey, let's drop 333s in the chat box for Jonathan. Proud of you, man. I'm glad that Atlas helped you and that the community being a part, walking alongside of you is positive. Um, Catalina, same question. How has Atlas helped you and how has the community helped you?
Um, Atlas helped me tremendously. It's probably the only strategy that I use. Like I mentioned, I've been in this, trading for over 10 years, and this is the simplest, strategy that I have learned. It's simple, it's straight to the point. You can't really miss it. You just, follow the rules, and that's all you need. And the community has helped me a lot, just like Jonathan say, just to it's a community that we understand each other, to lift each other up, and like to give ourselves kudos when we're doing good or we're feeling down, like, hey, you can do this. When I see someone like making profits and passing a challenge, it's so uplifting, not just for myself, but I think for everyone else to see that, we support each other, and then we celebrate our victories, or we're feeling down, or like the other day, one of our community members, she was saying that she was able to, buy her daughter's prom dress. Like that was, like that just kind of impacted me. Like, listen, just the simple celebration is she's celebrating with her daughter, with herself, and even with the community. It's like simple things like that is just uplift everybody and encourages you to like post, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is my goal. And it's tremendously, encouraging to be part of this community.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, let's go right to Jem. I mean, that's a great segue because Jem was the person that was able to get her daughter the prom dress. Jem, talk to us a little bit about that. How did that feel, and how did you have a goal that, hey, when I make a withdrawal, I'm going to buy my daughter this? Talk to us a little bit about how being able to get that payout impacted you and your family.
It's massive, to be fair. I always said after sort of years being in, I used to do network marketing and I never made a penny. I probably spent more than I made, to be fair, just buying the products. And then obviously at the time I was still nursing and working long hours, and it was like literally all my money went on bills. I didn't have anything left at the end, and then I unfortunately became quite poorly and I have a few health issues. So trading was my way of setting myself the goal of like, I can earn money, I'm not going to live off benefits forever. And my first goal was obviously my first goal was I want to be able to buy my daughter's prom dress without having to borrow money from family. But I also wanted to be able to give her the prom that she deserves, so the works, the beauty works, everything, and not have to worry about scrimping and scraping. So we went back in November for the first prom. I booked like a full prom dress trial fitting. So it wasn't just like a high street store. So it was like a wedding dress shop. So we went and she had the whole works of trying all different dresses on, and it was just a special moment. And actually to go and pick it up and pay the rest off and have that money for the rest of the things. So like just having the alterations, the shoes, the makeup, the limo, everything like that. I'm overwhelmed with myself. It's like, I feel just amazing for it. And in the long term, trading is going to change my family's, like my children's life. It's going to provide them with a stable future, something I've not been able to do up until now. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm still in that awe of myself. I'm like, I can't believe it. I can't believe this is actually making, I'm actually making money and not just losing it at the pockets, trying to sell stuff and that. I'm doing it for me.
Let's go. Drop some 777s. That's an incredible story, Jem, man. We are so proud of you and excited. And hey, before I turn this over to someone else, I do want to flip back on that question. Especially, we've had, our mentorship sessions together,
Yeah.
a personal mentorship student. Could you just share real quick, how has the community, Atlas, and mentorship impacted your trading journey?
Okay, let's put it like this. When I first started the mentorship with yourself, Steve, and I came over to Atlas, I actually didn't even know how to chart. So I had been taking signals and just doing what I've been told. But nobody had actually spent the time actually to go through actually what TradingView is and how it works. And I hadn't got a clue about charting. There's all these technical different indicators, and you just look at. I was just like buying when I was told to buy or selling when I was told to sell. I didn't understand why I wasn't in profit and that, and I was yo-yoing all the time. So literally, I came to Steve and I was like, "Help! I need this." So understanding basics, but Atlas just gives that really simple. I call it a roadmap structure that you can then expand on. And the community is just, I think like Jonathan said, trading could be a really lonely place, could be a lonely journey if you just did it yourself. So the community helps by adding to your knowledge by the discussions that we can have, but also just that support and actually celebrating the wins and the losses. You don't kind of you get to a point when a loss is a loss. Don't get upset over it because it's all part of trading. But having that community just to go, done it again. It helps. It really does help. And yeah.
Yeah, no, great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you for that. I want to piggyback now to Jonathan, because you also had a big purchase that happened recently, with some of your payouts, man. How has the payouts impacted you and your family, and what are some cool things you've been able to do?
I mean, there's a couple cool things, but main thing is we're able to survive, dude, in this harsh California environment with this, with the prices. But when I was out of work for a while, I got kind of nervous, and then when the payouts started coming, and it was literally the perfect time, I kind of felt that relief, man, and can't even explain more than that. That it just felt like relief, like I didn't have to worry about something, especially something that important. And then I bought a couple toys. I bought a motorcycle.
Hey,
Just
a
went in there.
nice motorcycle too.
Yeah, man. He asked if I wanted to do finance, and I was like, "No, man, I got it here on my card." He's like,
Nice.
"Oh, okay." Um, so I did that. We went on a couple vacations. I just came back from one. My wife loves that, so it's just it's great. It feels great, but ultimately, after getting the payouts from the prop firm, that kind of solidified everything. It kind of made it real.
Mm,
So not only to me, but like to the people in my circle or the people who either didn't believe in this or don't believe in this or do that just were kind of skeptical. They believe now. They know that it's something that's going to happen, not just something that maybe it just sounds good, but now they know it's happening.
oh, that's good. That's good.
So it's just confirmation.
Yeah. Well, you said something I think so important. You said it makes it real. When you finally get that withdrawal, so many of us have gone years and years and years, trading, losing live accounts, trying to get prop firms, maybe passing, maybe not. When you finally get that check, and like you said, it makes it real when that deposit hits your account, it's like, okay, if I keep going, I can keep multiplying this now. I think that's powerful. Catalina, you want to share anything? How did getting a payout? How was that for you?
I, I'm speechless. Like, I never had to pay it out until I joined this academy, and it's just like I say, I'm speechless. Now I'm planning. Like, I have goals to, like, okay, for a minimum of $100 a day. I
That's
have 4 accounts, so
yeah,
minimum of 100 to 200 a day.
yeah,
You could easily make, like, what, 8 grand, 10 grand a month.
yeah,
And I say, okay, with that, I could easily pay my debts. I'll keep it debt free in 6 months. Like, things that I could have been 30 years, like you paying a mortgage for 30 years, you paying your student loan. I pay my student loan with one of my payouts. Uh, Things that could have taken years and years. I've been doing this for, it can be possible in months, a month or two or three or four. It depends, what you owe. But for me, it's gonna happen in less than a year. Something that I never thought it would happen. I used to have 2 jobs. I used to have a full-time job, and I used to work overnight. I don't have to do that anymore. I can spend time with my kids. I can get my sleep. So it's those little things that I can plan for a vacation. That I don't have to worry about, like, oh no, I can buy this, I cannot buy that. It's just the little things that I never took it for granted, but it's going to be done in less time that I thought it was going to happen. So and my husband, like, he was so patient with me after so many years, and actually seeing, like, hey, you gave them pay, like, yeah. So I'm surprised he never said, like, hey, you gotta, like, stop, this is not working out. But he was patient, and he's proud, he's very proud of me. And sometimes when I'm on the call, he hears my name. It's like, did they just mention your name? It's like, yeah. So it's like little things like that. Like, I just, like, so in awe that it's just, I just speechless sometimes. It's like, is this really happening? But I'm excited for what's to come. And I thank you, Steve, for everything that you have showed us. It's I just and I encourage you guys to you know take your time and it's be patient. It's gonna take time, but it's gonna pay off.
I love it. It's encouraging even to me. And, some of you know me many, many years. I led a group of over 1,000 students in the first MLM company I was a part of. And we did have some big winners, but it was all in the crypto space, meaning they would buy crypto and hold it. And, maybe they got lucky on a few cryptos. But in actual day trading, right? In actual intraday trading, what we're doing, I couldn't tell you I think I was in that company for 5 years. I couldn't tell you one person that was profitable. And so to see you guys winning and to see you getting payouts, passing challenges to me is so inspiring. And I want you guys to take note of something that Carolina just said, which is she's in the game 10 years. Okay. And this is something that I would tell people all the time. I said, listen, if you want to become a doctor or a lawyer in the US, it takes you 10 years to just become legal. Okay? Not to be at the top of the game, just to get in the game and you to have the name. I am a doctor. I am a lawyer, right? It takes 8 to 10 years to do that here in the US between studying. So, if you've been in the game 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, right? Understand, like, you are just getting your feet wet. And for some of you, and this is a big caution I want to give, because some of you have success early on in your trading journey. You had some wins in your first year, your second year, and it's so easy to think, oh man, I got it. And then when you face challenges, then it's easy to think, oh, I don't got it. It doesn't work. I have seen so many people with so much potential have early wins and then they get kicked out of the game and they never come back. So I just want to encourage you. If you're in your first 1, 2, 5 years, whether you've seen some results or you've seen no results, understand you're at the beginning of your journey. So when you face challenges, and you will, when the market shifts, and it does, understand that it's that long-term mindset that was just shared with you that'll get you through it. So positive, powerful stuff. Now, let's go ahead and go into a couple of different questions. And again, I don't want to make this super long, so we'll stay on another 10, 15 minutes. We'll see what we can get through here. But let's do this as one question for all three students here. One, what would be your best advice to someone that wants to pass a challenge? So number one, what's the mentality to pass the challenge? But number two, what is the mentality to get a payout? Because we know that those are a little different. They're similar, but you got to make sure of different things at different times. So real quick, whoever wants to go first, what's a tip you would give to pass a challenge? What's a tip you would give to get a payout?
Read the rules.
Say that again.
Read the rules. Don't go in.
Beat the rules? Yeah.
Yeah, read the rules. Don't go in blindsided, but you can just do it. Read the rules first.
Yeah. So what she's talking about, guys, is there's a lot of rules with these challenges. And I remember both Jem and Jonathan. John, I think you should go next on this one. You guys faced some challenges with the rules, but once you understood them, you're able to do it. Jonathan, maybe talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, again, I'm doubling down on that 100%. The rules, yeah, you need to know them in order to pass these things. And once you do, everything just kind of, again, just falls in line. But basically, for passing a prop firm challenge, what helped me was being aggressive, a little more aggressive than what you normally would on trying to keep it or being consistent with it. It's fine. It's small, especially with these smaller accounts. It's fine to just be a little more aggressive. Pull the trigger. Don't hesitate. And if you're feeling confident in your trade, just go for it. That's the advice I could give on passing them.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I like John's saying, you can go aggressive on the challenges because guess what? Futures challenges, especially with the company we use, guys, they're pretty cheap. If you go to Forex, what they call CFD challenges, Some of these are $500, $600, $700 just for the challenge. Okay. We're getting challenges. If you get the discount, there's a discount going right now for 80% off. You can take the challenge for like under $50. Okay. So, go a little aggressive, but then taper it back because you want less risk once the account is live. Catalina, what do you think about that?
Yeah, the same. I was going to say the same thing. Be aggressive. Um, the first account that I challenge account that I purchased, it was, I think it was 300,000 and then a 100,000. For those, you have to earn more to pass it, and it was taking me too long. So then I opened a 50,000, and it doesn't take that long. If you are aggressive, you don't need that much money. You only need 3 grand. And if you do 3, 4 contracts, you can easily pass that account maybe 2, 3 in 3 days. So yeah, like Jonathan say, and I think I learned that from him because he was like, oh yeah, I do this many contracts. It's like, you do what? It's like, but then if you fail, it's like $30. It might not be, it might be a lot for some people, but $30 is like $30 just to restart the challenge. It wasn't bad. So being aggressive helped me. I put in more contracts, and I was able to pass. I passed actually 2 challenge accounts at the same time in less than a week.
Let's go.
So yes,
Nice.
be aggressive.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid
Drop them
to
two.
hit that button.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So real quick, let's go to we got 2 more questions is what we're gonna do. Let's talk about signature trade entry. So, if you were to think about what is the best trade that you take, okay? What does that look like? And this could be quick, okay? A type of zone, a type of entry, a type of exit. 60 seconds real quick. What's your signature entry? Let's go with Jonathan.
Yeah, man. So basically, I simplified mine as simple as possible. So it's basically um, entering off the 5 minute zone that's near or inside a 4 hour Atlas zone, near the top or the bottom of that zone. Right.
Oh,
And sometimes I include a little bit of wick action. Sometimes I don't. It depends if it reacts with another area. Because what that does is it adds in another time frame without me having to go to that time frame.
mm,
So that's what I do. And basically I could catch a swing move with that. I could catch an intraday trade move. I could catch a scalp with that. So that's why I do that.
nice. So 4 hour with a
Yep.
5 minute near it. So 4 hour Atlas zone, right? The 5 minute near it or in it as well.
It could be either right above it, right below it,
Okay.
or yeah, just somewhere above the top or bottom. I
Okay. So
don't
you
like
look
to
for
put
the
it in
top
the
or the
middle
bottom.
because it can go either direction.
Ah,
But yeah, top or bottom of it.
got it. Now, if it's at the top of it, you're still selling from there or you're buying from there.
So previously, I had to tweak it a little bit because right now the market's a little different.
Yeah.
So previously, if it's at the top of a 4 hour zone, I would take that. I would take that for a sell, and then at the bottom of zone, vice versa, I would take that for a buy.
Got it.
Right now, it's kind of doing the opposite, so I kind of had to make a little bit of an adjustment. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the
but
markets are shifting a little bit, but that's good. I mean, I love it. I love it. Catalina, what do you think is your favorite trade that you're taking right now?
I do. I love my hyperdrives.
Okay.
And I do a lot of pending orders just because of my job.
Yeah.
And but I do entry the 4 hour atlas, and I follow up with the 1 minute. So
Okay.
but I just listen to the class.
Good.
When you say like, hey, this is the best of the best, I that's the one that I stick to it.
Mm,
I do the pending orders, like that's the best thing that Tradeovate invented,
mm.
because I know sometimes I hate it when it's like break even, but it saves me from losing. Like, okay, wait, whatever, I didn't lose as much as I should have,
Yeah.
but at least I either hit my goal or break even. So pending orders, I do that a lot. I don't know, a lot of you may not know, or maybe you do, but I trade it from my phone. I don't have the capability, or maybe I could, but because even when I try now that I'm working from home, I prefer my phone. I got so used to doing my phone, but I don't have, 5, 3, 2 monitors. Everything is from my phone. So it can be done with whether you do it from a monitor or two or from your phone. I'm able to make profits from my little tiny screen, and I just set up, whatever pending order that I need to set up. I set it up for all my 4 accounts. So boom, 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 they all set up, and once they hit the target or break even, and then I'll just take one account since it's too many to do it from my phone. I take one account that is running, and if I see that is running, I'll just keep moving the take profit. And then sometimes you see a little bit more profit on one account because I keep moving it and moving the stop loss. And that account I can make more than what it was supposed to make if it was just the pips that I was supposed to get on that account. So
Yes.
yeah, hyperdrive is my best.
Nice,
I love
nice.
hyperdrives.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, guys, Catalina's a student where she follows it to the T and she's found how to make it work for her. And in that consistency, it's really helped her. And again, everything she's talking about, hyperdrive, we cover that all in the academy and on the calls. So, make sure you guys are tuning in. Jem, what would you say is your favorite entries right now?
Um, Always, I think using the 4 hour to chart and to find my entries. I use the 5 minutes. Love it. And I will use like the Atlas zones, but I also look for other confluences. So major like support and resistance zone. I'll use that within the Atlas zone. So where you've got a lot of you can see the action, the price is just staying at the top or bottom, and then I'll use a break and retest, and I will go either way. And I'm finding that I'm getting quite big moves. So, but I do love a hyperdrive as well, scalp to be in and out. But my favorite is my big moves, so I can see the profits because I will still go in with a low contract, like 1 or 2, to protect what my account. But yeah, I can see that like one trade can be like £800, if like $800, and then I'm done for the day.
Yeah, yeah. And think about that. I mean, 800 pounds is what a typical salary may be in a week for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So, you're making that in an hour on your phone or on your computer. But great stuff. And I love what you said, 4 hour zones. And if you think about it, all three students, they said something in common. What did they say? Somebody in the chat box. They all said one type of zone was their most important zone. Let me see if somebody can guess it that's not one of the three participants speaking. What's the one thing they all three said? Let's see if somebody will put it in the chat box for us. Exactly. Ali got it. And by the way, Ali's a new student. Let's drop some 222s for Ali. The 4 hour zones, guys, the 4 hour zones are the most important zones that exist. Okay. Why? I don't know. Maybe 4, 8, 12, it's 24 hours is divisible by 4. I don't know. But the 4 hour zones are the most powerful zones, and everything else is built around that. So great stuff. All right. Last question, and then we're going to wrap it up. All right. What is one key takeaway you would like traders to know from your journey? So this could be actual, charting stuff, but this could actually be mindset. This could be experience, your failures. So what is one key takeaway that if you were going to impact somebody right now, you would like them to know from your journey? What's one key that you'd like to give them today? Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go real quick. So, one thing would be don't let anybody try to convince you that what you're doing won't work in the long term. So basically, just keep going. See. Also, no matter how many accounts you blow, just keep going, because definitely what you'll be making in the future will eclipse all those minor losses. Just keep going.
I love it. I love it. Hey, guys, listen to what Jonathan just said. He said, number one, don't let anybody talk you out of what you're doing. Okay? Which, Catalina says she had support from her husband, but some of you may not have that. It may be the opposite, people telling you, hey, when are you going to finally win? I have a student, she was on this call, but she works, she'll watch the recording. Her kids were coming after her saying, Mom, this hasn't worked for you for years. When are you going to do it? And guess what? She just passed her first prop firm challenge ever. Okay? So listen to what Jonathan's saying. Don't let anyone talk you out of it, including yourself. Okay? And then what else he say? No matter how many times you fail, you got to keep going. I think of Thomas Edison. How many times did he fail at the light bulb before he finally got it done? And guess what, guys? Now the entire world has changed because of electricity and the light bulb, right? We wouldn't be on this computer right now if it wasn't for Thomas Edison. And it's estimated he failed between 1,000 and 10,000 times at creating a working light bulb. Imagine how hard that was. He was so close and then it would fail. He was so close and he would fail. Do you have the mindset, the grit to fail 10,000 times in order to succeed and change everything? That great stuff, Jonathan, man. Proud of you. Who's next? Catalina or Jem? What's one key takeaway you'd like to give?
Right. And believe in yourself. And the biggest thing for me is you don't just take signals, learn and understand. And then remember, I know I read somewhere it was where someone said that it was 90% mindset, 10% skill. I don't believe that. It's 80% mindset, 20% skill. You have to learn, but it's not a race. But you have to have the right mindset too. So believe in yourself and you're halfway there.
Yes, yes. I love it. And again, Jem, congrats to you because I think this was the greatest accomplishment you had. It wasn't the financial, it wasn't the money, it was literally you started to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And so thank you for sharing that. And I think it's so important. And guys, remember, you cannot look at your current results as a definition of who you are. You must always look forward and believe stronger, believe bigger, and then you'll have a breakthrough like Jem had. Catalina, what's one key takeaway you'd like to give people here today?
Being consistent. My pastor spoke about it like a couple of weeks ago, and he asked everybody, like, when you do martial arts, like, what's the color belt that you want to go for? And a lot of people say, oh, the black one, this, and that. And he actually said it was the white one, because it's the one you to begin with. You guys just walking into this meeting is the beginning of a journey. You have to begin somewhere in anything you do. With this, you have to begin and be consistent. You have to be consistent studying the charts. You have to be consistent with your profits. You have to be consistent in anything in life, not just with trading. If you want to follow a diet or an exercise, everything is, you got to be consistent. You cannot give up. It doesn't matter how small the goals you have or how slow you go. Consistency is the key.
Absolutely. And thank you for that. I think, you're right. It's first is even wanting to go for the white belt. And then, in martial arts, and then if you're doing it, the white belt has like several tapes they put on it before you get to the next belt, right? And so I would actually just add to that and say, what's the belt you should go for if trading was a martial art? I would just say the next one, right? So wherever you are, get to the next belt, right? Everybody wants to get to the black belt, but you got to go through the process. It's actually interesting in jiu-jitsu. I've been just learning a little bit here and there about it. You might not get there for 10 years, okay? And you got to go to the gym 3 times a week, and it's crazy, right? So consistency, I agree. Listen, I did not start understanding trading and winning at trading until I showed up every day. And yes, some of you guys, most of you guys are going to have jobs, families. So there may be a day you couldn't show up. But did you go and revise your notes at night? Did you see what the market did? Maybe the next day, did you show up? Right? You can't, I'll tell you guys this. there was a saying in network marketing, which was, if you treat it like a hobby, you'll get paid as a hobby. In trading, if you treat it like a hobby, you'll get paid zero. You'll get paid zero. You won't get paid like a hobby. You'll get paid zero. Trading, if you really want this to work, you got to be dialed in, because you're talking about life-changing money without having to recruit, without having to make a sale. You can make $20,000, $30,000 in a month, right? If you want that, you got to come into it and treat it with the respect it deserves. Shout out to all 3 students, guys, for really going all in. We appreciate you guys. Guys, do me a favor, drop one last group of 222s in the chat box for me, for all those folks that have shared. And hey, before we go, I do just want to share one more thing with you guys, and then I'll give you guys your Saturday back. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So listen, if you're watching this and you're saying, how do I get plugged in? Look, it's really simple, guys. We give you a whole program. We give you the mentorship telegram, live trading sessions every week, daily trade ideas. You get an academy. You get my Atlas Academy, which gives you my strategy. So you got the Beginners Academy, which is the Elite Academy. You've got my Atlas Strategy Academy. You've got a Crypto Academy, and I'm talking to you guys about what cryptos and stocks to be looking at and buying, right? Guys, we give you all that for $99 a month. I was going to raise the price in 2025. I decided to keep it there. And guys, some students will tell you that are going through challenges. You know, I give them scholarships from time to time to help them, you know, with discounts and stuff. Why? Because I care more about our community pushing forward than I care about profits. You understand? I could go to an MLM and make a certain amount of money, but my goal here is to continue to create independent traders like Jonathan, Jem, and Catalina. And that's why, guys, I've kept this at the price that it is. All right. I do have mentorship spots. Now, this takes more time from me. This is a higher priced package, but you get a whole series of personal one-on-one sessions with me, personalized coaching, personal review of your charts. This is something that Jem did, and it's $7.99. I do give a month of free community with this. I'm going to give 3 months of free community. So that means you don't got to pay for your community for 90 days if somebody wants to take up this and get personal mentorship, one-on-one mentorship with me. So guys, with that said, listen, these 3 students have won. And what I want to do is, 1, I'm going to keep walking alongside of them. In fact, they're part of an elite group that I call Elite Future. These are folks that I am molding, shaping, that are also molding and shaping the future of our community in Atlas, right? They've earned their spot to be a part of that. And we want you to become the next Jem, Jonathan, or Catalina and go to the next level and get your payout. So that is our focus all of 2025. Help more people get more payouts, change their lives. So number 1, if you're part of the community, I want you to dial in. Have you gone through the entire Elite Academy? Have you gone through the Atlas Academy? And are you showing up to the live sessions? Also, are you using the community as much as you can? When is the last time that you posted a chart that you wanted somebody to review, right? Use the community because it is there for you. Also, if you're not part of the community, well, guess what? This is your time. Get in. But when you get in, and this is important, I've got folks that they register, they get signed up, and they do nothing with it. If you do nothing with it, nothing will happen. But if you do what these 3 students did, guess what? You could be the one buying a motorcycle. You could be the one buying your child a prom dress. You could be the one paying off your debts, right? But you got to plug in. So if you're not plugged in, plug in, get activated. And guys, finally, listen, maybe you're one of these students, because I've had them. And by the way, this is who I am. Where you need a little bit more personal coaching, reach out to me and we'll make it happen. I'm finishing up with a few students now, and I'll be willing to take a new mentorship student or 2 going into the month of April. So guys, with that said, man, listen, have a phenomenal day. Keep going, keep believing. Remember these things, the consistency, right? The focus. But listen, if your financial goals are important in 2025, there is no greater way to do it and accomplish that than learning the Atlas strategy. Trade your futures, trade it consistently, and you'll be shocked where you are in the next year. So guys, with that said, wish you the best, much success, and let's keep winning. Take care.